I'm going to tell you the answers, but you can't accept the answers as knowledge. You have to do what it takes to arrive at the knowledge. You know, one of the things we do with whatever, we'll say, we'll get an answer, perhaps in church or wherever you go, synagogue, mosque, book, wherever. And we'll say, yeah, okay, I understand that. Okay. But then when we come face to face with the issue, we have another issue. We can't deal with it. What that means is that we have not arrived at the real answer yet. We have not arrived at the answer internally. The answer is not internalized. It's in here, but it's not in here. So what we have is doing the thing that it takes to get there for real. I've always said to everyone in the group, this one is for real. This is not a philosophical thing. This is for real. Okay? It means touching real things and experiencing real things. I have a person right now who's really going through the process really, really strongly. I mean, just going absolutely nuts, which is good, you know. The issue is, let me see how to put this without divulging everything. The issue is, the person has a rejection complex. When I say rejection complex, what do you call it? What do you call it when you run away? Abandonment issues, yes, and for some pretty strong reasons. So when doing the technique, all these old things begin to surface, and the memories and the energy of those moments begin to surface. What's the first thing they want to do? They want to run to friends and talk about it. See, in psychology, we've been taught you need to discuss it. I will say you need to confront it. You need to deal with that crap. Okay? That's what I would say. But they don't realize that I've told everyone to stay away from her. Don't talk to her about that. Don't talk to her about that. Do not talk to her about that. I don't care what she says to you, whatever. You do not sit down and commiserate with her about that. Why? Because the more you do that, and then all of a sudden you're feeling good because you've got somebody there to support you, does not change the issue inside. Doesn't change it. All it does is allow you to suppress it and think you are dealing with it when you're not. When all you're doing is suppression all over again, running away from it. Okay? This is for real. This is the real process. This is what the Buddha had to do when he sat down and then he saw the demons coming. Well, the demons weren't boogeymen. The demon were his own crap. This is what Yahushua, or Jesus, did that night in Gethsemane. And the devil comes to him and tempts him. You know, man, you got all this power. You can run down there and you could run it, you know, with what you know. Who? You get down there and you have all the money and all the women. Oh, man. Oh, you be bad. Wasn't a boogeyman. It's that habitual idea of the body mind. And he said, "Ah, God, man. Love to do that, but I got an appointment with a cross. I got to go through the torment to come out the other side." Buddha sat there, and when all the demons had finished doing their demon thing, the torment, and came out the other side. So what we're talking about is the torment of the mind and the energy of the spirit, the energy of being, the energy of the mind. This is what we're really talking about. So you have to come to that, and you have to make your stand alone. Now, not because of some macho reason or some nonsense, because only you can deal with it. It's your creation. It's within you. Only you can deal with it. Only you can work it out. Anything from the outside only helps you sustain it. Unless you're talking to an old fool like me who just tells you straight, hey, no, you got to do this. So, in removing those things from her, she has but one place to turn. Well, actually, kind of two places, because the next turn is to me. And what I am going to do is to stand in her stead, stand in as her guide, and say, here is what you have to do. Yeah, but they, and this, and that, and no, I don't care. Here is what you have to do. Well, all my friends, everybody is turning against me, won't anybody listen to me. Really? Do tell. This is the process. You must stand alone. This is about the growth. This is about the movement. You understand that everything goes through this. When something grows, it goes through the pain of growth. You take a seed, you put that seed in the earth. The seed has to die for the plant to be born. Do you think this is pleasant for the seed? It's breaking down. As it breaks down, it releases the new. Did you ever stop to think that the universe itself, before it was the universe, was something that had to die for the universe to come? You think a big bang is a pleasant experience? You think of something that's... I know you women who've had children can relate to that. Something that the size of a bowling ball coming out of something the size of a quarter. All I'm saying to you is that in any birth, something is destroyed so that something new can happen. Anytime you have that pain, you are out there by yourself. By yourself. And you have to endure it and come through it by yourself. There's nothing anyone else can do. Here's the law. This is the law. That night when I couldn't breathe, it's amazing what the body will do, will try to do. I've got the mask on, which makes not being able to breathe, or the sensation of not being able to breathe, worse. Because it's breathing at its rate, because it has to force the fluid out of my lungs. Legs start to kick. Body starts to twitch. Hand goes to the mask, and they say, you can't do that. In this moment, I have a choice. To rip the mask off and kick or to do what I was told. Hours later, not a few minutes later, but hours later, breath. The pain of going through that to succeed. Now you think about it. Think about you're underwater and you can't breathe. You can't breathe. Think about it. I used to do a little thing with you guys. I would say, here's what I want you to do. Hold your breath. And I don't want you to breathe until I tell you to breathe. And then I'd get up and walk away. Remember that? Yeah. And then I'd come back and I'd say, that's how bad you have to want this process. Okay? As much as you wanted to breathe. So I'm letting you know, in that sense, it was excruciating. But in order for me to still be here, there are certain things I had to do. There are certain rules I had to follow. That's the way it is. Like it? No. Who likes not being able to breathe? You might think you like it in the beginning. Well, I'm just going to kill myself. Yeah. Would you ever hear that scream that people let out when they jump out of a building? That's because halfway down they realize they made a mistake. Nobody wants to go through this stuff. You may think you do. Pain. But it is the decision that we make to go through the pain. Go through the death of the old for the new. The seed, the new plant to be born. Okay? The egg in a woman and the sperm in a man has to die to become a child. They each have, their individuality dies to become something new. It is the law. So, here are the rules. Rule number 1. You have to recognize your stuff. You have to recognize what you are doing, not what they are doing, what you do in response to something else. People will talk to me, well, they did this and they did that, and give me a long dissertation on they and what the circumstances are. I don't care. Because all you're doing is avoiding coming to, this is what happened inside of me. I don't care what the circumstances are. I care about what happened inside of you and what did you do. That's all. Keep it simple. You have to keep it simple with yourself. Because the more you talk, the more nonsense comes out. The more nonsense comes out. So the first thing is to recognize, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. Now, next step, accept it. Because this brings you down off your high horse. This makes you humble. You know, the stuff that we have makes us egotistical. You know, I'm very comfortable here. As this person said to me, I've lost my identity. Duh, yes. What do you think I've been talking about? Losing your identity. So when you lose your identity, you become humble. Now you can only be what you are. Everything else is what you gained. Everything else is what you said you were. And most of the time this evolves around a quality within you. I'm smart at math. I'm smart at mind process. I'm smart at science. I'm smart at whatever. So I am this. No, you're not. You're intelligent. That's what you are. You could have been anything had you put your mind to it. I used to wonder when I was young what I was going to be when I grew up. Because I love science. You know, I love to learn about stuff of the earth. I love chemistry. I love biology. I love psychology. I loved it all. What am I going to be? And my grandmother would say, jack of all trades and master of none. But I grew up to be a guru. I grew up to understand my whole world. Wow. People were saying, now you got to go because you got to be a doctor because we don't have black doctors. That's not a good reason to be a doctor. Especially a black doctor. That mean I'm only qualified to treat black people? What does that mean? When I was a kid, they had black police officers in certain of the major towns, but they were only allowed to arrest black people. You couldn't go. If they saw a white person murder somebody,
you can go.
You couldn't arrest them. Think about that. So, in my mind, a black doctor, what does that mean? Oh, somebody says, you know, you should really get into physics. I like physics, but it wasn't answering my question. None of it by itself answered my questions. The only thing that answered my questions was me. When I got off my high horse, because ever since I was little, I was told how smart I was. Oh, you're so smart. I remember a guy handed me a book. I don't know how old I was. I mean, I was little. And I took the book and I turned it over and I started to look at it. And he took it back and he handed it back to me and I turned it over. And he said to my grandmother, he's so smart, he knows right side up. And the point is, I was told how smart I was. Okay? I got double promotions. I didn't know that the kids in my class were older than I was. They said, well, you know, this kid needs to go into this grade. Okay, cool. I believed I was smart. Trap. I'm smart. Then that meant there was no answer to solve the mystery of the misery of my being. I'm smart. Well, why don't I know? 'Cause you're not smart. You have intelligence. That night when the smart person died, I saw the truth. It's just there. We're all smart. All of us. We can do anything we put our minds to, our attention to. It's a matter of learning the rules of whatever it is that we're doing and applying them. It's real simple in terms of that. Now, here's the rules. Accept what you find out about yourself. Let it bring you down off your high horse, because the high horse doesn't allow you to see the truth, what's right in front of you. The high horse doesn't allow you to see that. That's the second step. Okay? The next step. I am never going back to these attitudes, ever. Now, what does that do? That puts you on guard because the mind is an automatic thing. Things are going to automatically pop up. They're there. They're there for everyone. It is a matter of the attachment. It pops up. I see it. Doesn't mean anything to me. It's just another cloud passing through the sky of my mind. That's all. I'm the sky. It passes through within me, so I don't have to do that. I don't have to be smart. I don't have to. I am naturally intelligent. We are all naturally intelligent. So, we have some very basic things, 3 very basic things. Recognize, which means to admit. This is the reason why. I'm going to go into that. Accept it. Accept that you're not all that. You're not even a bag of chips. You're not all decide. Never again. But you see, all the decisions have to happen as a matter of the individual recognition. That means you. The individual recognition. The individual recognition. That's what makes the what makes the big bang inside of you. That's what makes the light inside of you. Oh, the recognition. This person says to me, I try to talk to these people about all this stuff that's happening to me and this stuff that's coming up into me and stuff that happened back when I was a kid, and they just aren't my friends. My point is, you have to recognize what's happening in you. It's not about them. You're putting that blame on them. Why do you feel that way? Why does it bother you? It bothers you because you are dealing with issues of abandonment from way back when you were a child. That feeling that came up when you were a child back then comes up now when something similar to that, similar to that comes up. That feeling comes up and you blame what's in front of you. See, you must recognize exactly what I just said. It's not about the surface thing that it appears to be. It's about way back then. You are alive now. Why do you think people who have emotional problems eat a lot? Because they don't deal with the problem, they go to something pleasant. The chocolate, that's pleasant. I don't need to think about that. No. You need to see exactly what it is. So suppressing is not paying attention to it. Putting something else here so that I don't have to deal with it. I can keep that energy down. So what do? I keep eating. I keep smoking. I keep popping the drugs to make me feel good. Well, the solution is if you come through this crap, you're going to feel good and it's not going to cost you a quarter. Not going to cost you a dime. You see what I'm saying? But they don't want to deal with the pain it takes for the birth, the new birth. Because they have already decided, I am a victim. They've already decided that. I'm a victim. This is what I know. This is what I'm comfortable with. Poor me. You live a whole life with that. The issue is, it's going to take some pain to get you through it, but once you get through it, it's my example of the mask. Oh, hell. Man, you know how much pain I was in? No, you don't know because you. But if you like to know, I could show you. But I had to face the body's desire to rip that mask off and go running through the street. Because it was going to run. Where it was going, I don't know. It was going toward relief. That's where you thought it was going. But it was going toward death. But, okay. I decide. Okay. No matter how that body tried to do what it was going to do, I had to go through the pain of it. And then sometime in the middle of the night, yeah, okay, I'm done. That's what this is. When that pain comes up, when that pain of your youth comes up, you can't use something else to distract yourself. Because only you, no one else, only you can solve that problem. Only you. I can't. I already solved it. Only you can solve it there. I know what it looks like. I've seen it. I've been there. I've done that. I can help you. But I'm NASA talking to Moonlander. I'm giving you advice across space. In more than one way, I might add, but that's a whole other issue. I'm doing that, but you must do the work. You have to stand to yourself and see your weakness. And once you see the weakness, here's the other part of it that you're going to see. The negativity. Oh, poor me. You got to stand up and face that crap. You are no different from anyone else. You are vulnerable. I am vulnerable. All God's children is vulnerable. We all are vulnerable. You know, if it weren't for the moon and Jupiter, the earth would have been destroyed a long time ago. It's vulnerable. The solar system is vulnerable. It's going to blow up. The galaxy, the whole galaxy, which contains hundreds of billions of stars and more planets, is going to die. So vulnerability is a part of being. Everything is vulnerable. So what makes you special? The issue is you don't want to be. Doesn't matter. You are. So how are we going to live? You live like this? This person has studied martial arts all their life. She's a big bad mother. Yeah, right. Now you're old. Yeah, I'm an old martial artist. I can still do everything I used to do. Block. Let me see if I can run here. Wait a minute, I got to get my knees ready here. I can still do it. Just not at the speed. We are vulnerable. We are vulnerable. We accept that. We are going to die. You're going to die. Doesn't matter how much you kick, rail, scream, jump up and down, whatever. When you get through, you're going to die. That's the bottom line. So now we accept that vulnerability. Okay. Whew. Well, I guess once I accept that, I better get busy living. Ain't got much time. Trust me on this. You ain't got much time. You're going to die. I think I showed you a picture of my son and I with my karate trophies. Did I show you guys that picture here? Okay, I got one I'll show you. I look at it and said, damn, who is that young, handsome guy with that little kid? Trophies up, you know. It's like, wow. And then I look in the mirror and think, who the hell is this old man? What happened to the guy with the muscles and all the smooth skin and stuff? What happened to him? He was sitting there smoking a cigarette. Karate trophies everywhere, smoking a cigarette. Karate trophies everywhere, smoking a cigarette. I discovered the other day, what happened to my fingers? Breaking bricks, bam, yeah. Break 6 bricks, boom, yeah, yeah, well, the arthritis is setting now. And I can't close the fingers. You're going to die. It's going to change. It's going to change. You are vulnerable. So we accept that. There's nothing else you can do. That takes the load off. I don't have to be something I'm not. I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not. I'm just a guy. Like I say, I'm just a poor little old colored boy from Newton, Mississippi, just passing through. That's all. If I could, I'd take my shoes off and walk barefoot in the sand bed with my big straw hat and my overalls. That boy is still alive in there. That human being, that thing, untarnished, untouched by the world, is still alive in there, just in terms of the feeling. But in terms of the experience of life, that same felt being has wisdom of his world. And that's the balance. You understand? This is where I want you to come. You got to understand why. You know why. You know. But what do we want to do? Because we are still superheroes of our lives, we want everybody else to be the problem. No, you're the problem. And until that individual understands that, I am the problem. I am my problem. Not you. I am my problem. I'm okay. Once I learned to stand, I found that I was pretty well protected. I walked around with all this fear. All this fear in my life. I was a little kid in a little town. I thought my town was bigger. I looked on the computer the other day at my town. 3,500 people. I thought I came from the big town because those country people out there, they lived in the country. So my view of the world was this big. Everything else in the world was foreign. And I was afraid of it. And I was afraid of white people. They were everywhere because they would kill you. They would lynch you. They would just do stuff to you for no reason, just because you were walking down the street. Okay. Then I'll die. That's my fate. I'm going to die. And I learned to stand in the world only after waking up to who I was. I learned to stand in the world and to stand anywhere, amongst other human beings, and be a human being, not afraid, aware, but not afraid. Not afraid. I'm trying to show you the difference. I'm trying to say you don't have to be afraid. Once you accept the fact that you're going to die, that you're vulnerable, and when you shed this false idea of who you are, the next thing that's going to come up is vulnerability. I can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can do it. Question is, will you do it? Do you choose to live in the misery you know, or will you choose to find out something you don't know? That's the issue. I'm going to die. Next step, then I will live. Not meaning, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. That's not what that means. Quality of whatever it is you do, if you only do one thing. The quality of that one thing. Doesn't mean you can't do a variety of things, but I just don't want there to be a misunderstanding. This is guidance through this maze of mind crap. It is quality of it. If you accept all the crap, you will die taking the crap, never having lived life. And I've known plenty of people to die, and they look at me and say, I wish I had done that a long time ago. Yep, I bet you do. Because in the next minute, life is gone. I wish I had. Oh man, I wish I had. Then stop and do. You know, there's a truth in us. We are going to live forever. Just not in this body. Because if you got something planned in this one, you're not going to live forever. It's not going to be. It's not going to be. It ain't happening. That is a truth we have to come to grips with. Who am I? I am that which lives forever, just not in one form. Who are you? That which lives forever, but not in one form. The change is for you, not for anyone else. Not because I say so, not because a book says so, not because anything says so. But because you would like your life to be better. You would like to live happily. And as long as that happiness depends upon something else, you're never going to be happy. As long as it depends upon something else, someone else, some other idea, it will only depend upon what you do right here, right now. What the individual does right here, right now. Give it up. Yeah, tears are going to come, but don't talk about the tears. Let the tears flow. It will bring up the reason for all of it. Let it go. So what? So it happened. What else are you going to do about it? You can't change it. So you got one leg. If you worry about it and if you're angry about it, you're going to grow another one? I think not. So you just hop on around until you get done what you need to get done. It was a joke Richard Pryor said about a woman who had a baby he was hydrocephalic. And she said, well, what am I going to do? He said, buy him a big hat and let him go on. That's all you can do. Get yourself a big hat. Go ahead. This is what your life is. This is what it is, vulnerable. You don't need all the walls built up. You don't need all the identities built up. You want other people to go by those identities for you. Because they need it in a society. Well, that's a societal thing. That is not a spiritual thing. If it requires me saying, here I am, engineer. Yeah, okay, there you go. I can't believe it. It's just what I do. I was talking to a man who says, I'm a doctor. Well, no. You practice medicine. That is not what you are. You think that's what you are. That's what makes you ignorant. Ignorant. Ignorant of other things. Ignorant of other ways. Ignorant of what can complement what you do. Because you think you're a doctor. No. You were before you earned that degree. Yeah, if you go to a hospital, they want to know if you have that degree. At least I want to know that you got it. But it's just that degree. It's not you. If I don't believe that, then what do I have? You. That's about it. Well, what am I? Don't know. Don't know what I am. But I got it. Don't know. Can't define it. Because that's been the problem all along. I have defined who I am. Or I have allowed others to define who I am by their behavior toward me. I'm no good, I'm not smart, I'm not pretty, I'm not handsome, I'm not. I have become defined by that. So I walk around defended, and I'm defended against people who aren't bothering me. That doesn't make any sense. Now I'm a troublemaker. Because now I take that crap to people who could care less, and they look at you and go, you know that fucker's crazy. I'm not crazy. Yes, you are. Why do you say that? Because you're bringing some nonsense over here that has nothing to do with anything. If you've been in meetings with people like that, they always bring up issues that are not the issue. Here's the issue. Well, you want to say, get out. Well, what, you don't think I'm smart? Just get out. I'm not going to allow you to take it away from this issue. And this is a problem that some people have with me. They want to go over here, and I'm saying, no, we're sticking right here, sticking right to this. This is what it's going to be. That's that. And if you can't do that, you need to go see Guru, Swami, whatever, who's going to allow you to do that, because this right here is for real.